Hello, and welcome back to Invitation to Puzzles, where today we have two of my favorite combos in all of Sudoku. We have Renban and Black Dots, and we have FullDeck and missing a few cards. Let's have a look at this puzzle. I'll go over the rules first. There's a link in the description if you want to give it a go, and then I'll do it as well, so feel free to check the video for hints, as I know many of you do. So the black dots mean that one of these digits is double the other. There's no prescribed order. So, for example, 6, well, you can't do that. 6-3 is fine, 4-8 is fine, 8-2-1 is fine, 1-2 is fine. There are lots of options, but all of those are fine. This is described as ratio pairs in the rules because it's fine if they're unmarked doubles. So like 6 and 3 there, that's fine. But all the marked things are doubled. And then we have Renban, my personal vote for the best of all Sudoku mechanics. And the way Renban work is that each of them need to have no repeats along the line, and they need to form a string of consecutive digits. So, for example, they could be 1, 2, 3, 4, but keep in mind in any order. So I could do something like 1, 3, 4, 2. That is a perfectly valid Renban. But 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could keep going, but you get the idea. That's what we need to put along each pink line. Okay, so the place to start, after I remind you that there's a link in the description if you want to go, but the place I see to start, and this is very cool, is this. So black dots come in two flavors, as I usually say, the 1, 2, 4, 8 flavor and the 3, 6 flavor. And once you're in one flavor, you kind of can't escape it, if you want to think about it that way. So this is a 1, 2, 4, 8 flavor of black dot. So we've got all of that hanging around. The middle can't be a 1 or an 8 because it only has one thing to go with. But the neat thing here that the setters have done is that now this black dot, it can't be the 1, 2, 4, 8 flavor, because remember, Renban can't have repeats. And we've already used 3 of the 4 1, 2, 4, 8 flavors. And so therefore this is a 3, 6 flavor of black dot. And so now I know that this Renban, which has length 7, by the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, it has length 7. I know it's got a 3, a 6, a 2, and a 4 on it. I don't quite know what the rest of it is. I will note that these black dots now actually are also quite interesting because neither of them can be 3, 6 because these two cells see this 3, 6 pair. So this is actually a 1, 2, 4, 8 quadruple. It would be quite interesting if I were able to smoosh like a 4, 8 over down here or something. Because if this were still on the Renban, it couldn't be 4, 8, but what can you do? I'm trying to see if like this being a 1 would somehow break that. I don't think so yet. This is also from 1, 2, 4, 8 because if it were 3, 6, well, I guess I should just say this cell is not 3 or 6. So this is from 1, 2, 4, 8. Okay, so we've got that sort of bouncing around. I do know. Okay, so here's the thing I do know. This Renban, which definitely has a 6 on it and definitely has a 4 on it, well, it definitely has a 5 on it, and that 5 is in one of these cells. And that's interesting because it tells me that this Renban doesn't have a 5 on it. And so if you try and make a length 4 Renban without a 5, it always has to be either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 6, 7, 8, 9. Basically, you can't break through the middle piece if you take out the 5, and so you end up with just one of the two extremes, which is interesting, because if this is anything... If this is anything other than 8, then this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And in fact, that digit's exactly a 3 in that universe. If this is an 8, then these are 6, 7, 9. And that's less clearly potent to me. Let's see. I know one of these is a 5. And then the other has annoyingly options. 4, 5, 6. Could be 7. Could be 1. Wait, does the 8 version even work? Yeah, the 248 version does work if I put 248 here, 36 here, and 57 here. Then I have everything but 1 and 9. And I know there's no 9 on this thing. And if this is... Wait, isn't there always a 7 on this Renban? Wait, there's always a 7 on this Renban. That's the point. I had not fully appreciated this, but this is length 7, and if I don't use a 7 on it, it's not going to work. So this is actually 5 and 7, because I'd have to do 1 through 6 or 8 through 9 if I don't have a 7. So I need a 7 as well, judging by the length of this. And now that this is a 5-7 pair... it still works if this is either way. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it's basically, I'm guaranteed to have 2 through 7, and then I either tuck in a 1 or tuck in an 8. And I'll know which one it is once I make the next point, which is that now this can't be an 8, because I said there's a 5 in one of these two cells. And so these are either all low or all high, but they can't be all high anymore because the 7 in the box is spoken for. So actually, these are 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's not a 3. In fact, this one is the 3, because remember, this is a 1, 2, 4, 8 quadruple. So that one just is the 3. But also, that 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple means that this digit is now the 8. So we go 8, 4, 2. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So this isn't an 8. That is apparently not a 4. These digits are something and something. 9 and the other one. Oh yeah, 6 and 9, right? And so the 9 is actually known to be there. The 6 is there. Now this Renban. That's very clever. This Renban needs a 6. Because if you don't have a 6, then you can make a maximum length of 5, and this is longer than 5. But the 6 there and the 6 there look down at this whole piece. So the 6 is definitely on this, which means that this black dot is always 3, 6. Which is very nice. These digits just are 5, 7, and 9, just for the column. It's an interesting collection of digits to have. Renban definitely does have a 7 on it. It's 7 long, though, so that's okay. Let's see. That 1, 2, 4, 8 interacts with that 1, 2, 4, 8. Let's see. Do I want to write in what I... Okay, well, this is a 1, 2, 4, 8 black dot for sure. Let's start with that, because it sees a 6. So this is from 1, 2, 4, 8, and it's not 1, 2, for the somewhat fancy reason that if this black dot was 1, 2, this would be a 1, 2, 4 quadruple. And there's a problem with the 1, 2, 4 quadruple, which is that it's only 3 digits that you have to somehow use to fill 3 cells. So actually, this is a 2, 4, 8 black dot, which definitely needs to have a 4 because 2 and 8 is not a valid black dot, which looks back over and says this is actually a 1, 2, which makes that a 4. And now these are a 4, 8. And now this is a 2 or an 8. But actually, if you look at the way this is now worked out, I can't make this a 2-4. I make this a 1-8. Or if you prefer, you could just say I can't possibly put an 8 down here, because if I put an 8 down here, then I'd need to put it with a 4, and I can't. So in fact, the 8 goes up there, like that. And now this Renban has a 1 on it, and it's 7 long. So it's 1 through 7. And so we actually now know it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, I was like, how am I getting the 8 on this Renban as I'm saying that it needs to have that? Because it's like, well, that needs to be a 4 because it's missing a 4, but it's also missing an 8. Yes, but a Renban from 1 to 7 does not need an 8 because 8 is not between 1 and 7. The things you learn from watching this channel could really fill a lifetime. Okay, so that's a 4. And that being a 5-7 means that's a 9 for what that is worth. Okay, so this doesn't have a 2 on it, by the way. So this is either 4-8 or 3-6, and it sure is one of those. Which one? Who's to say? Let's see. Yeah, I've got some 4s over there. Okay, this one doesn't. That's not a 4 or an 8. Yeah, this could be 1, 2, 4. Could be 3, 6. Who knows? This Renban definitely needs a 6, though, because this Renban is still 7 long. So I don't know where that 6 is, other than that it's in one of these 3 cells. But that's enough to tell me that this black dot is of the 1, 2, 4, 8 flavor. I notice as I'm sort of... This is usually, by the way, when I have a puzzle with a bunch of black dots, I'm usually trying to suss out which of them are 3, 6 and which of them are 1, 2, 4, 8. That's just my immediate impulse when seeing black dots, that's what I'm going to try to do. Yeah, I know there's an 8 in here somewhere. Sure. What else have we? Okay, so yeah, I guess what I have in this box is that 5-7 goes there. Oops, 5-7. And then one of this mess is a 4 and the other is a 5-7-9. No, sorry, the other is a 5-7 and a 1-2. Okay, I do know one of these two is an 8. We can certainly do that just by Sudoku. If this were an 8, that would have to be a 7. Sounds good to me, honestly. I don't see an immediate issue with it. What's left in this row? Can I say anything useful with that? I don't know that I can. So we've got the 5-7 and the 9, the 3. And that is what we have. But that's not... It doesn't feel incredibly useful to me as these things go. Yeah, I guess I know I could do stuff like I know I'm not repeating the 4-8 along this Renban, so I know the 4 and the 8 in this column are over here. But I don't think that's quite enough to tell me anything. I know there's no 1 on this Renban because it's got an 8 on it. Oh, I know one of these black dots is 3-6. Because if neither of these black dots were 3-6, this Renban would have a 1-2-4-8 on it. And the problem with that is that that's a spread of 8 digits and it's only 7 long. So one of these black dots is definitely 3-6. What am I doing with that? That is a great question that I don't have an answer for you, but one of them is 3-6. It felt very exciting when I figured it out, I'll tell you that much. But no, this is the point. I used this fact in one of my puzzles a long time ago. A length 4 Renban, I guess, always has a 3. No, a length 4 Renban always has a 3 or a 6 on it. Yeah, this was the break-in to one of my puzzles forever ago. There's always a 3 or a 6 on a length 4 Renban, because if there's not, then you've got 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7, 8, 9 to choose from, and none of those segments are 4 long. Neither of these cells is 3-6. That one's not, so this cell is 3-6. And now I know which of these black dots is 3-6, because it can't be that one. It would break that cell. So this is 3-6. And now this is certainly from 1, 2, 4, 8 while we're at it. Now, can I do more? Does this Renban need to have a 5 on it? Because I noticed if it does have a 5, that 5 is down in this row, and would certainly look back over at that cell. I do see that 3-6 sees this whole little Renban now. This 3-6 pair sees both cells. So this would have to be either 1, 2, 4, 5, or 7, 9. Unfortunately, I don't immediately see anything wrong with any of those combinations. It would have to go in a specific order. Oh, actually, it can't be 4, 5. I can see that, because this cell can be neither 4 nor 5. So it's either 1, 2 in some unspecified order. It's not 4, 5, or it's 8 with 7, and it would have to be an 8 here and a 7 here. So those are the actual options for what this can be. I don't think that is incredibly compelling as a deduction. Yeah, no, there's definitely not an 8 on here. So this is either 3, 6, or it is... Oh, right. I said this before. This was important, and I said it before, and then I ignored it. Remember, this Renban needs to have a 6. I said this when I figured out what this black dot was, but then I forgot about it. This Renban needs to have a 6, so that 6 is in one of these 3 cells, and all of them see this. So this is actually the 3, the 6, and the 3 coming up over here. And so now that is useful because this Renban needs to have a 3, right? You can't get to 7 with a... You can't get to a 7 long Renban without a 3, and the only place the 3 can go is now there. We know there's a 7 and a 5 in this column for whatever that is worth. I'm going to fill in this quad, even though I kind of don't want to. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just for my own sanity, because I keep mentally going through what digits are there, and I feel like if I'm doing that, it's probably a sign I should actually mark it. So we definitely need a 4 and a 5. And for that matter, a 7 and such for this Renban. Oh, this is certainly not an 8, by the way. 3 and 8 are too far apart. So this is a 1, a 2, or a 4. If this is a 1, that is an 8. That doesn't feel like a useful thing to chase too hard to me. Part of me is trying to decide if I know whether this is 3-6 or not yet. I do, because that's a 3 by Sudoku. It's the only place for 3 in the box because of these 2 3s looking up. So that's a 3 and that's a 6, which now tells me that, in fact, one of these 2 is the one that's a 6. And comes back over here and tells me that's a 3 and that's a 6. Now, I know that there's a 6 down here somewhere. I know that there's a 3 in one of these 2 cells, at least. So there's definitely, I can do stuff like there's definitely a 4 on this Renban because there's a 3 on it. So like this digit's never 4, so this digit's never 8. I don't know if that's useful, but I can do it. Actually, there's not a 6 on this Renban either. So this is either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Those are the only options because of that 6. So there's actually always a 2 on this Renban as well. So yeah, I'll write this in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. When I said there's definitely a 4 on it, I perhaps could have mentioned that the 4 was here. By which I mean I perhaps could have noticed that the 4 was there. That is a good thing to have handy. Okay, and one of these is definitely a 2, is what I was about to articulate when I noticed that I had made a grievous mistake. So one of those is a 2, so this is a 1 or an 8, so that's only a 2 or a 4. Let's see, this Renban itself definitely needs a 2 and a 4. Let's see, the 2 actually can only go in one of those 2 spots, I think. Needs a 5 as well. Yeah, the 7 and the 9 are sort of decorated down this corner over here. Let's see, if this is a 2, it's saying this Renban doesn't have a 2, which is saying that this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Seems okay. I don't have any other random Sudoku laying around. Do I do it? It's usually Sudoku when I'm doing puzzles from FullDeck and missing a few cards for me. Okay, well, here's something. This is actually useful. One of these 2 is a 4. So that's not a 4. I don't know that that's not a 4 is my like best deduction of all time, but we can try and make it work. Could actually write in what this could be, because I don't think it can be that many things. It can be 1 or 2. It can't be 3, 4. It can't be 5. It could be 6, but it can't be 7 or 8. It could be 9. Okay, it can be a lot of things. Never mind. If it's 1, that's 1. Okay, so just to write in the possibilities here. It's not, it doesn't have a 2 on it. So if it's of that flavor, it's 4, 8. Otherwise, it's 3-6, and the 3-6 only actually has one order to it. I am noticing that 5s could get rather cramped if I try and put a 5 here. So I know I'm going to need a 5 and a 7 along this Renban as well, and those are in short supply of places they could go. Like there, and there. But I don't quite see anything too deadly with that off the bat. Yeah, I guess now if this is 1, 2, now I know that digit's an 8. Yeah, I know the 8 in this column has to go in one of these cells, because I can't repeat it along this Renban. Likewise, that 9 looking over there is kind of interesting, because it's sort of telling me the 9 has to go either there or on this Renban, in which case... Oh, I know this Renban doesn't have a 1 on it. That's a thing I should comment on. Because this Renban has an 8 on it, sorry. This Renban has an 8 on it because of the 4-8, so there's no 1 there, at least. So the 1 in this column is only in one of these places. So, like, what can this digit be? I'm pretty sure it can be 1. It certainly can't be 2, 3, 4. It can't actually be 5 because it sees the 5 on this Renban. It can't be 6 because there's a 6 in the box. It can't be 7 because it sees the 7 on this Renban. I think it could be 8, and I think it can be 9. It's a 5-7 pair. So I guess... Oh, is the point that this cell... Oh, I think it might be that this cell's actually incredibly restricted. Because if I look at the column, I think this can be 1 or 2. It can't be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It can be 8, and it can't be 9. That sure looks suspicious. When I look back across there. Though, again, it looks like it leaves me just enough wiggle room to get away with anything that I want to get away with. Oh, these are a 1, 2, 8 triple. Oh, that I surely should have seen. So these are 3, 6, and 9. I don't think that's going to help, but I certainly should have noticed before that this was actually set up in this way. I do have a sort of weird, like, the 6 in this row only goes... Oh, that actually sorts it out. No, sorry. The 6 in this row goes in one of these two cells. Sorry, not one of those two. I got excited. Which, like, creates a, like, weird quasi X-Wing kind of thing on 6s. I mean, I think in this case it is a literal X-Wing, actually. So one of these two is a 6, and one of these two is a 6. So that consumes all the 6s and tells me that none of these cells can be 6s. Which would tell me that one of these two was a 6. But I still don't think that quite tells me the thing that I wanted to tell me. I don't know if it does anything, but I know this cell's a 5 or a 7. And in fact, I think I know one of these two's a 1, actually. Because I need to get both 5 and 7 on this Renban. And I can't put 2 of them in here because it'll make both of these cells be 1. So one of them has to live outside, but then that does mean that one of these is 1, which means that's not 1 at the very least. Which does mean the 1 lives down here somewhere, although I don't imagine that's super useful. That felt potentially promising, but basically we need a 2 or a 9. There's a single 2 or 9 in here, right? Depending on which way this Renban decides to go. 2 or 9, but not both. And so in these cells, there's a 1, there's the 2 or 9 we didn't use, and the 8. Which is just a different way of saying that these are from 1, 2, 8, 9. So I guess it's worth pointing out that if these are 1, 2, it means that we don't get an 8 or a 9 on this Renban at all. I don't know how restrictive that is. Yeah, so this is 1, 2. It would be 1, 2, and 4 right away. And so then these would be 5, 7. That seems okay to me. And this cell, I guess, is always the 2 or the 9 that's not on the Renban, because I can't put both 2 and 9 here, so this is always 2 or 9. If I want to pencil mark things into existence. Oh, I'm supposed to have marked that this cell sees this whole Renban like a million years ago. And so this cell sees a length 7 Renban, and so it can't be anything but 1, 2, 8, or 9. And we know it's not 2. And ergo, we've got a 1, 8, 9 triple, which then makes this a 2, 5, and makes this a naked 7. There we go. Okay, that was very reasonable. I don't know why my brain didn't think that way. Somehow I didn't think about it up here, and then so my brain sort of trying to mirror the logic did not. But anyway, that's going to, I suspect, do it for us, because now we've got that 2, 5. Looking over here at the 7 and the 5. Like that. Let's see. These are from, I suspect, 1, 8, 9 as well. Okay, so if this is an 8, then there's no 9. If this is a 1, one of those two is the 9. Yeah, we've somehow fallen into the whole 9 is in 9 is there. How did we get that? Yeah, the 9 in this column is here because of the fact that, yeah, I can't put... That is incredibly weird. I'm trying to figure out the sensible way to think about that, but I don't quite know what it is. But yeah, I guess it's just that like 9 in these two boxes is sort of squished over because that 9's over there somewhere now. Or there, sorry. It's one of those 3 spots. So actually that digit is definitely a 9. I don't think that's what I'm really supposed to be seeing here, though. Oh, right. Sorry. Here's the much easier thing, right? Now I do need to place a 5 on this Renban, and now it can't go here because of that 5. So now this is a 5, which then is going to give me the 2 and the 5 down here, the 7 up here. There we go. The 9, the 5, the 6, the 2, the 1, the 7. Making that at last an 8, making that an 8 and a 1, giving me a 4 and a 1 and a 9. No 9 down there, making that a 2. 1, 2. Now that's an 8 and a 7 and a 5. Okay, well that really did do it all. The fact that I just ignored that cell for who knows how long. 1 and 4 don't go next to 1, so that's a 2. Let's see, there's a 4 and an 8. That's a 4. One of these is a 2. That's a 9. That's a 1. It's a 5. Okay, this isn't a 4 anymore because 4 doesn't go with 6. Okay, so this Renban now we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so this is a 2 or a 9. And it's not a 2, so it's a 9. Giving me the 7 and the 9. Giving me the 6, the 3, the 6, and the 9 over there. That is a 7. Okay, one of these is a 2, and it's that one. These are a 3 and a 4. So that's the 4. Nope. Oh, one of them is a 3. And the other is a 5. I see. Okay, so these are 3, 5. I don't know the order of that yet. Okay, these are a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. These are a 5, which seems to go there, and a 9. So that gives you the 3 and the 5, which gives me the 8 and the 4, the 1 and the 8, the 6, the 1 and the 8, 4. One of these is a 3, 7, 1, 6. Very nice. I really enjoyed that. I should have seen this much sooner. That was a boo-boo on my end. And then it just so happened that as soon as I saw that one step, that's a pretty common step in these sorts of puzzles, it all fell apart. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you saw that much faster than I did in the comments down below. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.